John here for MTG Nexus, coming at you with a quick deck tech for Boros Burn. Probably time to update this list, but this will probably be the final league with this list that we'll play, as we need to make some changes, it seems. But as a friendly reminder, if you do like red-based content, especially of the Burn and Izzet Murktide variety, please consider subscribing to the channel, as we can be the most informative channel on YouTube for those particular decks in the modern format. Alright, so list we've been rocking for a while. List we've had some decent amount of success with. The 20 land, 12 creature variant, with 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Swift Spear, 4 Eidolon. The core burns creatures. No Darcy, no Mishra's Bauble. Those cards get progressively worse as the format gets a little bit more anti-creature based, especially with Solitude and such. But beyond that, you're playing the core of the burn deck: Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Boros Charm, and then some variant of Rift Bolt, Skewer the Critics, Skullcrack, Searing Blaze, and Lightning Helix. Currently we're opting for 2 Skullcrack and 2 Lightning Helix, as there is quite a bit of life gain in the format. Rift Bolt and Skewer, this number should possibly go down. Skewer the Critics, as sometimes the card can be awkward. Could get another Skullcrack in the deck. 4 Searing Blaze. There's quite a few decks that this is pretty poor against of late. Most notably, anything not packing Ragavan and Darcy seems to be pretty bad overall. A lot more 4-color control decks, a lot more blue-white control in the format, etc. So the card does get a little bit worse in those circumstances, but still a pretty solid card to have against basically the lowest mirrors, if we're being completely honest. As well as Izzet Murktide, it's reasonable against 8 of their threats. As far as the sideboard, Rolling Vortex has been a staple both as an anti-life gain card and anti-cascade stuff. 2 copies of Smash the Smithereens and Wear Tear, kind of our anti-Hammer Time, anti-Chalice of the Void combination package, as well as anything against artifact-based decks, so whether it be Tron, whether it be some of the Urza decks that have been popping up, some of the streamers at least, the Asmo decks, etc. 2 copies of Path to Exile gives you odds to things like Death Shadow and stuff that otherwise could be difficult to kill. 2 copies of Deflecting Palm for big creatures. This is another card that's kind of been waxing and waning in some spots. It did have an impressive performance a couple leagues ago against like Mono Red Incinerator and stuff, but overall a card that has performance has waned in recent video sets as well. And Sanctifier en-vec, a card that is either an 8 or a 0 pretty much. It's pretty good against a lot of the red-based decks, whether it be Murktide, whether it be the red other Luris mirrors basically. Also fairly decent against the Esper variants of Reanimator. Decent against Dredge. Exiles most of their relevant cards. And, it's an okay card in a lot of those situations, so for that reason I think it's kind of earned its spot in the sideboard. But that's it. Let's get into some matches and see how this list does. Alright, we're here for match number 1. Alright, this hand seems fine overall. And drop in the Searing Blaze. No. Alright, so turn 1 Inquisition, probably losing Swift Spear. Dash a Monkey, perhaps. Play a Tarmogoyf. Looks like we're up against Jund. This is where Skewer the Critics can be very awkward. Sure. Not gonna play my, not gonna crack it here. There's a chance we could draw Skewer the Critics, which would make it awkward. There aren't too many draws our opponent can have here, obviously, that would kill us, so I think it's fine to wait on cracking. That obviously puts us in a good bit of a bind. Yeah. So in a game we should have won, we're going to lose with our opponent at 1. They could just have Bolt and finish us off either way, so this is kind of whatever. You have the Bolt. Torok, sure. How does Jund not have a kill spell? Alright. Sanctifier en-vec seems okay against them. Path and Deflecting Palm are probably okay. Searing Blaze can be really awkward against what they're doing. Eidolon could be kind of meh, especially on the draw. Could have Skewer the Critics because it can be awkward to cast against heavy removal base decks and discard spec decks sometimes. Sand seems fine, if not particularly exciting. Jund has always historically been a close matchup, although I found traditional Jund to be moderately favorable for burn, question mark. I'm gonna lean on Swiss Spear here because I figured our opponent had a removal spell, but it's possible they don't. So maybe I was supposed to get in with the Goblin God while the getting was good. Got a little cute there. Hopefully this is just like Tarmogoyf pass. Oop. Right at 6 is like the most useless card in their deck. So I'm going to keep a Bolt in my hand. The reason I'm doing it this way is we have no current way to trigger Spectacle next turn if I were to throw that Bolt for the extra point of damage. So I've missed 2 points of damage, but there was reasoning for the suboptimal sequencing. Our best play would probably be removal spell plus Tarmogoyf, but I don't think they had a removal spell last turn. So, interesting. It's just Croxa? No, Liliana. Grist. Yep. This is definitely an old school Joan that just wasn't, they were not prepared. What you got, friend? Fulminator Mage? Alright, and let's get rid of the critics. Felt nice to get a win over old school Joan. Alright, we're back for match number 2 here. Seems fun. Could regret this, but I'm just going to lead on basic mountain. Okay. Opponent likely has a second Ragavan. I generally don't run that out, and looks like we're up against Mama Murktide. Do they have Spell Pierce here? Doing that because their deck doesn't tend to run a lot of answers to things like Eidolon. They run like 6 or 7. Sure. Opponent doesn't get to use any mana this turn. Opponent needs what, a sorcery or an artifact. Okay, they've got the sorcery. They had both. Okay. They have Murktide to back it up. Looks like they do. Alright, am I dead? Chances are we're dead anyway, because our opponent's likely to have a bolt here. You just need to find an instant. Alright, so we're dead at exactly... Maybe I got too cute with the Boros charm. I have to go back and look at that. These in. The blazes are okay. Boros charm's kind of debatable because they might bring in Skullcrack's kind of questionable in some ways. Eidolon's kind of questionable in some ways. Skullcrack's not particularly a good thing against them, as they don't tend to have life gain in their deck much. There's no like Dragon's Claw or whatnot in their deck, so their deck tends to be a little bit more obviously counterspell heavy. Alright. Great hand, no lands. This hand's fine, but once again... Okay. Letting bolt, sure. I presume our opponent's just going to hold up a bolt here. Okay, they're going to play a creature. I'm getting a little bit of value off of that, but... Question is, which one are you bolting? Oh, you have Unholy Heat, so... I could just dash a monkey here. Yep. This is the point in time you have to bolt this or you're going to get screwed over. Never understand why people just don't main phase their removal against burn. So dumb. So very dumb. Not that this is my creature, but I am doing it while they're tapped low, so... Awkward. Opponent's best draw in this matchup is usually Murktide. So, played quite, obviously, if you pay attention to this channel at all, I've played both Murktide and Burn quite often, so I'm very well versed in the strengths and weaknesses in this matchup. And... possibly should have held on to that for Blaze effects. Presume, consider? Sure. If I were our opponent, I would strongly consider sacrificing their Fiery Islet. Apparently not. Okay. Mama Murktide. Mama Murktide. Alright, you have Spell Pierce. Apparently it shouldn't have been that Spell Pierce. Alright, so Eidolon on the draw gets much worse, and I already don't like it on the play most of the time. Sanctifier is kind of whatever. So, a lot of people have different opinions about Eidolon, what matchups it's good in, what matchups it's not. I don't tend to like it in creature-based matchups a lot, and this matchup is somewhat of a creature-based matchup, so... It's on the play, obviously, so that's kind of terrifying. Hopefully they don't have a turn 1 Ragavan. Nope, they just have turn 1 Value Engine here. Sure. Was it a good one? To skewer the critics. Opponent with a Ragavan. Ragavan does whatever a Ragavan does. Hopefully your opponent taps out for a Dash Monkey. And holy heat, sure, that's perfectly acceptable. Apparently then they didn't want the monkey. Or if they kept a one-lander. Seems like they might have. Take this opportunity to play the unkillable creature. It's the end of the world as we know it. Why would you consider now? It doesn't seem like the best timing in the world, friend. Have a Mama Murktide, perhaps. Sure. Likely with a counter spell here. Maybe a spell pierce. Why wouldn't you leave Expressive Iteration on top of your deck? Seems like your best of the card to find what you're looking for. Murktide, you're quite scary. That's a pretty good one. Nice. 2-0 in this league so far. Alright, we're up against the Tunneling Cat on the play, which is nice. Alright, got a mulligan on no lander. One's somewhat terrifying. This looks like it's just blue-white control with Chalice. Sure. Sure. How many verdicts does our opponent have? Guess we'll find out. Prismatic ending. Sure. Yeah, that was dumb. Their prismatic ending. Of course they have another spreading seas, why wouldn't they? I screwed up there though. Should have held open. Chalice on 3, it looks like. Fun game. There's some roof bolts, those. Quick submit. Probably too much anti-artifact, anti-enchantment stuff, but seems perfectly fine. Could easily have Chalice to punish us a little bit, but I think resolving this might be more important. Spreading Siege, sure. Okay. Sorry, the LD plan didn't work out quite the way you wanted this game. Alright. I gotta try one game 3 on the draw. Still don't think we changed anything. Opponent's game plan appears to be the same. Hopefully that we can keep this hand. Solitudes, moderately terrifying. Okay. Last turn. Force of negation. Alright, so you're gonna have Solitude up next turn. Got it. Interesting. What can I realistically play around here? That goes to 6. One of those clearly has something if they're not putting Kahir in hand. Yeah, it's really hard to beat triple Solitude. Just saying. Yeah, just not possible to beat all that crap in one game.